All right, my audio. Wait, my audio is in. All right, I think your audio is good. Just say something real quick.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, you're perfect. Golden.
Golden. Golden boy.
Golden.
Touch, golden boy.
What was It's good. Maybe I'm thinking of different. Maybe I'm thinking of different books. What about Pony Boy?
Or
Pony
what?
Boy. Pony Boy and
Golden boy is
Golden.
the Outsiders.
Yeah.
Golden boy is Seinfeld, the T-shirt.
Yes. Yes. The golden T-shirt. There's a golden boy in the. Isn't there something? Is the kid with the golden hair? Oh, Pony Boy has the golden hair, right? That's what it is. Stay golden, Pony Boy. Yeah.
A golden pony boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got it. I thought maybe when you said golden hair, I thought maybe you were talking about Golden Face from The Office.
Oh
And
no,
Trent
no,
looking in.
Goldface. Yeah, Goldface. That's a great scene.
Pony, pony boy, golden boy, and golden face.
Oh, we do have someone here. It's not Ethan.
Oh,
Is it
nice.
you?
It was me.
Oh, so maybe that's what it is. Oh well. Good thing I looked at my phone though because we don't have our thumbnail. Our thumbnail is sick. You ever been up to Penn State?
I have not.
I went up
Why?
last weekend. Is why I asked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was there. We left like Friday night, and it wasn't too far of a drive. I went with Lambo. Um,
Mhm. You have
it
a
was
friend up
fun.
there? Or?
He does. We stayed at his boy's house. And I met him a couple
Gotcha.
weekends ago, and he was like, "You want to come up?" I was like, "Yeah, if I like, yeah." Um, it was cool though. They have some nice bars down there or up there, I guess.
Like,
Yeah, and I did it was a spring game, so we tailgated and stuff. We didn't
mhm.
actually go into
Oh,
the
that's fun.
spring game, but
Just
I
tailgated
mean,
it.
yeah, oh yeah, big time. We walked forever. Oh, it's Mike. What's up, Mike? Yeah, I saw Peyton and Lambo. Peyton just happened to be there at the bar. I was like, bet.
At Penn State?
Yeah, he goes to like a Penn State
Funny.
satellite school too. He's like, I'm not normally up here. I was like, wow, what are the
Oh,
odds?
interesting. Huh, funny. Wait, I thought
Send
you don't
him
know
just
him
in
from South
case.
Carolina?
No, Peyton is Mike's friend actually. Shout out Mike.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he visited South Carolina a couple times, and I went up to the Sixers game in December, and we went up together.
Gotcha.
It's funny. That story will always be on this live stream forever on YouTube. All right,
It's a great
let's
story.
right. Mike said, "Shout out Peyton." Shout out Peyton. Um, all right, we're up on Snapchat. I have everything. I think I have everything I need. This has all the teams. Yeah. What do you want? We want to do draft order? I think we should. We should give some Titans some love.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Are we doing
Um,
Shadur first or
Shadur first. Yeah, I forgot about that actually. Yeah, let's do Shadur first. Um, what did we call that spreadsheet from the
Mega Mock?
Mega Mock? I'm just grabbing that up so I can have the order without a bunch of goofy pictures. And I'm gonna highlight it real quick, and then we can get started. All right. Just making sure we're all good to go. Yep, seems like we're good to go. All right. Let's get started in three, two, and one. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, Chris. The NFL draft came and went. It's done. Normally we do like a first round recap, but we had a busy weekend. Didn't occur. But we're here. We're recapping the full thing. Chris, we got to do the Shadur Sanders thing right off the jump. I don't want to do it, and I'm just kind of tired of it because everyone else is talking about it. I feel like that's opens like every podcast, so I figured we'll open up ours with it. What are your thoughts on this Shadur Sanders fall?
If you don't think that Jeff Ulbrich should be fired from the Atlanta Falcons right now, you are insane. I think that's the best part of this whole thing is that the overreaction to Jeff Ulbricht's son prank calling Shadur Sanders. Like, no, it's not cool to prank call a guy on draft night. Like, that's kind of messed up. But like, the people saying that Ulbricht should be fired from his job because his son prank called Shadur Sanders is so funny.
They're making this.
Um,
Yeah, he had to make like an apology. Jack's right.
yeah,
Jack's Ulbrich.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. That
there's
part was hysterical.
that was funny. The prank call was kind of funny too.
Uh,
It was bad, but it was
it was
funny.
kind of funny. People were
It was
really
kind of
upset about
funny.
it. It's kind of funny. Prank calls
I
are
think
funny.
I think people
Is
should
that a,
be
like? Is
upset
that a hot take nowadays?
that prank calls are funny. I think so. I think the
They're
worst
so
one is
funny.
the one that no one's talking about, and it's maybe because there's a reason why he went undrafted. And I didn't realize this when I picked him as my guy. But did you see that Isaiah Bond got one too, and he didn't go draft. He didn't get drafted at
No,
all. So it's like
he didn't get
that one
drafted.
sucks. No, he didn't
I
get
didn't
drafted.
notice that.
So apparently with that, which I guess that's now up, but he had some allegation right in like April. And
Mm.
I think he did get his name cleared, but clearly that had to do something with why he isn't on a team right now. Um, I don't know if he got signed by a free agent. Someone can fact check me
I'm
on that,
sure he
but
will.
that's all right. Shadur Sanders though, he
Yes.
fell
Sorry
fell to the
to
Browns.
detract.
No, 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 no. I think that was on me. He falls to the Browns. The Browns get him anyways. They trade up for Dylan Gabriel in the third. They and then they trade up for Shadur Sanders. And did you see the reaction to the GMs and the
I
coaches?
heard about it. I didn't see the clip though, but it sounded like they
It's
were, or it looked
very
like they were at a
pedestrian.
funeral.
Yeah, it was very pedestrian. It was everyone's staring straight at the face, and like normally like they're high fiving each other, they're doing claps, they're
Yeah.
hugging
Right.
each other. These guys are just clapping at. It's like almost at the camera, like hey, and then
Right. Yeah.
and
Like
that's the
someone's got
call.
a the red dot on their forehead. Like, you
Yes.
clap for this pick now, okay?
Yep.
I mean, it's from what I've heard, it sounds like it was directed from ownership. That okay, like this is ridiculous. We got to bring this guy in, and that's
I
such a Browns move.
It is a Browns move.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, the dude was graded as a first round pick. Worst case, second round. And I got him in
The
the fifth. So the Dylan Gabriel thing is weird. Like, they have 7 quarterbacks on their team now. It's a weird situation. But looking at him in the fifth round in a vacuum is a like pretty awesome value.
it is pretty
Trying to
awesome
look at
value,
the positive.
and he's gonna start right. He's gonna beat out Dylan Gabriel, unless
I don't know.
I
We're
mean I
gonna
guess
learn a
he
lot about him, I think.
yeah yeah, and I think this is like it has become a story where it's like it's added some likeness to him that if he did go second and he's
Yeah,
dancing on the stage,
he's now like a bit of an underdog.
yes, yes, oh 1,000%, and he has that doubted chip on his shoulder. Everyone is everyone's gonna be he has this massive weight now on his shoulder, and there's a chance that he's just like as and if he was gonna be he could have been the number 2 pick, and if he's just a decent, like, this is a amazing value, and if he's better than
Yeah.
decent, then you could be getting a star, possibly. Um, I don't know if I wonder if they give him a shot. I mean, they should give him a shot. I don't see why they wouldn't.
He
And
will at some point, whether it's with the
yeah,
Browns or somebody else. They'll get a shot. It
the real
probably will be
question
with the
is,
Browns. They'll probably start every one of their quarterbacks this year.
you think so? I was gonna say, the real question is who
Oh,
doesn't
no.
make it to the regular season? Are they gonna carry 4 quarterbacks? I feel like teams don't do that anymore.
Would they give up? No, they can't. Would they give up
Didn't
for
they give up a
Pickett?
4th? A 3rd, maybe? It was like a 4th
Because he makes the most sense.
to cut.
It's like, if you're gonna have 2 young players, you might as well have a vet in the room, which is Flacco.
Yes.
It's not like Kenny Pickett's not. How's he gonna
He's not
mentor
teaching
these
them
guys?
anything.
Like, Joe
Yeah.
Flacco's been to Super Bowl
Yeah.
and like knows how the NFL works. So ideally that's the scenario. But yeah, then like, why'd you trade for Kenny Pickett? That's why there's like a lot of weird stuff here.
And I think it's a lot
I
of weird
do
stuff
think
because
like
of I was gonna say, sorry, I didn't mean
the,
to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good.
Oh. All right, I'll take it, I'll take it.
You
When,
got it.
um, now I lost what I was gonna say. So this is my bad. I completely
The
derailed
two
this.
rookies in one draft class is interesting, and you just don't see it that often, and I don't hate it
I don't
because
hate
it's
it
almost
either.
like it's one thing if it's your first round pick and then you get another quarterback later because it's almost like we have this supposed to be stud that we're drafting early, and now we're like definitely drafting a backup, which is what RG3 Kirk Cousins was until it wasn't 3 years later.
Yeah,
This is almost like we're drafting two guys we don't know. Let them duke it out. Like we'll see what they got. They're probably both not going to be great if I had to guess.
that would be my
But
pick
it's a
too.
very interesting concept that we don't see very often.
It's
So it is
it's such a
it's
clear force
fascinating.
of hand. That's what I was thinking when I cut
Yeah.
you off earlier. It's such a clear
Yeah.
force of hand that it's like now now has the owner like the owner steps in, he does this, and in a vacuum, as we just said, it betters their team. I mean, he might be the starting quarterback. He could be like I think that there's a chance of it if he plays well and has like the attitude and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, he has to change how he's in the locker room, and clearly these interviews that he tanked did not help him at all. I mean, no team wanted to take him for multiple rounds, including the Browns. And yeah, how do you like? What does Dalen Gabriel say to him? Let's get to work. Like he just looks at him like
I
"f
guess
you,"
so.
like I'm Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
fascinating
I mean,
case.
it is an unprecedented draft story. I think. Like we've seen guys fall, not like this.
No, most recently we saw. I mean, Will Levis was projected to be top 10 pick at least, and he fell all the way to second. But we saw Malik
Mhm.
Willis fall. He was invited to the green room, but yeah, there's been nothing like this, and that has been such like a worldwide story. I feel like not just the NFL.
Mhm.
It's been all of America's been following this, and for better or for worse, I guess. I guess that's why we're starting our podcast with it. But um, we'll
Yeah.
have to
I
see.
mean,
We'll just
it's.
see how it
I
goes
think
on the Browns.
a couple takeaways from this. I think most importantly, when you make a complete mockery out of the draft process, teams don't like that. And like when you when you purposely bomb interviews because you don't want to go to certain teams, and then the teams that you think are going to take you pass on you, kind of screw yourself over.
Yes.
Um, so like the Giants decided that they like Jackson Dart better, and that's one of what like four teams that he had a real shot of getting taken by. Like when
Yep.
those teams decide to pass, the other 26 are not like they don't want to take you.
And they're not
Um,
looking for they're
so
not
I
looking
think
for
that's
a Shador Sanders. There's only a handful of teams that
yeah,
are looking for a guy like that.
yeah, and it's such a big distraction off the field, like just the way that and part of it's not his fault because when Dion's your dad and there's all the Colorado stuff and he's always on TV and he's always talking, like that's going to be a distraction. There's going to be fans who demand he starts immediately. And then as soon as something goes wrong and teams just don't want to deal with that. So like there's so much baggage here that I don't know. I think there's a lot to take away for anyone who's ever in this scenario again, which probably will not happen for a while. But uh yeah, I don't know. I don't think I had a second thought there.
When you go into the draft saying I'm going to pull an Eli Manning on teams, people don't want to just deal. People don't want to deal with that. If you
Yeah.
like, imagine the Saints draft him at 9, and he's like, I don't want to play here. Like, no, nobody's going to
Mhm.
trade for the ninth overall pick
Yeah.
for Shador Sanders. Like, nobody. That there was so much risk involved with drafting him, where it's not like, and it's not even like a Spencer Rattler last year where he had all the media attention when he was younger too. He had the Netflix shows, but then he had the 2 seasons of college where he was humbled in South Carolina and was doubted and was, a 4th round pick because of that. And but that's not like when the Saints got him as a 4th round pick, like, oh, he's just gonna back up Derek Carr, and then, oh, all of a sudden he's starting because of injuries and stuff. It's not like people were coming into the Superdome demanding that he starts. And as you said, people are gonna be coming into the
Mhm.
dog pound with the people are already talking like with Shador Sanders issued merch, not NFL merch. Shador Sanders issued merch. which I don't get that. They said that the NFL has played a part in this draft debacle because of how much media I guess they've given him or something. Is that the deal? Why they're buying? Have you heard that? You know what I'm talking about?
What, that like the Sanders camp is blaming the NFL for this?
No, like the people like I guess Sanders lovers that are like ride or die Sanders are gonna buy like the people are saying only buy his like merch. Don't buy anything that the NFL
Oh, yeah.
produces with his name on it. Do you know why that is? I didn't listen to the full video, I'm not gonna lie.
They probably think that there's collusion, like, between the owners.
It was I mean, the
Which
fact
I
that
have
it's
heard that
every other
floated around, but
post
it's not.
was
I don't think it's collusion. I think it's like they all just like they all agreed on it. Like
is it
they
yeah,
didn't
I was
come
gonna
together
say
before the draft. We're like, no one's going to take this guy. Like they just all saw it and they're like, we don't want him.
and he went what, like 12 and 18 in Colorado? Like that's
Yeah,
it's not like he was superstar. Like he got his number retired because he's Deion's son. Like everyone thought that was bullshit. So
yeah.
there's when you put it all together, it makes sense of why he fell. And I think
Mhm.
I'm sure some people aren't going to be able to live with that, but that's okay.
Well,
Um,
I
Go
will
ahead.
like it is shocking that he fell that far because if you put all that together, and it's not surprising that he fell from like the first to the second round. He got drafted 10 picks into Friday night. It'd be like, wow, he fell. Like it's a little bit surprising, but it makes sense. But for him to still not be taken until whatever pick it was, like 150 something,
Yeah.
was pretty insane.
Yeah,
Given that, like literally 2 weeks ago, it was very possible he was going to be the number two pick.
it's funny because it's like people could say collusion, but if you go like if you go to these combines, you go to these like pro days, and what do you think they do? They talk to the other teams. Of course, there's collusion. They look at the other team. They go, "Well, how was your interview with Shedeur Sanders? That kid's an asshole. Kid didn't treat it at
Yeah,
all."
right.
Like even if you had a good interview with them, you still take that into account.
Yeah, you
If
hear
you're doing
stuff.
that, if you're doing that for jobs, um, you know, you can't have like I guess jobs are a little different. Like there's not a job conference that everyone's just like looking. They're like combine for jobs. See how fast you type on the
That would be
keyboard.
funny.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome. See how
just like
your
ripping
report your
Excel.
weekly report goes. Yeah, yeah. Get an Excel going. Um, but if that was the case, then there would be like if you were a slacker, then they'd find out pretty quickly, and I think the whole
Yes,
industry
right.
would find out pretty damn quickly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some other. You ready to get into some other teams?
Yeah, I guess the only last thing that we probably should address is that Mel Kiper,
Hell, Mel was losing it.
complete fool of himself, and got bodied by Reese Davis,
I feel
which is like the last guy you would expect to go off on him.
I feel
That was kind
bad
of
for the
awesome.
draft picks that Mel
I
Kiper.
know, it was horrible.
It's like every pick that wasn't Shedeur Sanders that could have been Shedeur Sanders. This guy's like, oh,
I
it's not Shedeur Sanders. Like this guy's like,
The NFL has never been good at evaluating quarterbacks. And this is proven. There's evidence. And it's like, dude, there's evidence that you can't evaluate quarterbacks.
oh
Like
yeah,
they're
that
better
yeah.
than you at this.
Also, yeah, I was gonna say like,
It's stupid.
yeah,
Like Tom Brady
that
went the
was
sixth
dumb.
round. It's like, yeah, like
And what did you have
that's
Tom
the
Brady as?
exception, not the rule.
Yeah. Well, and he's the best job in the world. He can't complain about evaluations, bro. He's the weatherman of the NFL. Nobody ever
Literally, yeah.
cares if Mel Kiper's
Yeah.
right. He just has the board. And most of the time,
Yeah,
everyone
because nobody
judges.
listens to him outside of April.
Yes, he comes in for draft weekend and then he leaves our lives. And
Yeah.
nobody ever like double checks him. We all base our
No.
grades and stuff
Except
off of
for
what
except for
he
this
likes. So,
weekend. There were
oh yeah,
so
oh yeah,
many receipts pulled, but Jimmy Clausen,
yep. Well, and
Mel
there should
Kiper's
be
tied his
because you've been
reputation to
saying
Jimmy
stuff like that.
Clausen.
Yeah. Oh man, what a clown.
Yeah, that's not a great weekend for Kuiper.
Yeah, that is. That was hilarious though. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like
It was really funny.
his whiny voice is just so funny to
Yeah,
just hear, and he talks so
I know he
fast.
does have the furthest. Yes.
All right,
All right, we had real
let's get to
football
some
players.
Titans some love. Feel bad for the Titans. Um, Cam Ward, I gotta say, I mean, everyone else is also going to be saying this. Most not talked about quarterback, maybe number one pick of all time.
Yeah, I like how you said quarterback because I saw the same tweet and then somebody retweeted and was like, "You guys know who Trayvon Walker is?" Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely. I like thinking back. I can't think of somebody else. I feel like golf wasn't talked about a lot,
yeah.
but still way more than Cam Ward.
There was a little bit of a golf Wentz debate. No, I don't know. I feel like that was like right when we
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
started right
yeah,
after that.
yeah. It
Uh,
wasn't a foregone conclusion. He's gonna get
the
one.
Yeah, but I think this kid's a baller, and I think that the no noise is much better than having noise behind him.
Absolutely.
This is the
Yeah.
perfect situation. This is exactly what the Titans should want. They Nobody should want like the Titans should have they should want nobody to care about them. If they took Travis Hunter, people would start to care about them, and they'd have to start winning football games. Now they don't have to win football games. Um, like this sounds bad because you want to win football games, and that's the goal. But you have a
Generally,
young
yes,
coach.
but
Yes, you have a young coach. You have a young quarterback. Cam Ward, everywhere he's gone, he's improved, and he had to go to different spots every time because he up to the next level every time. And
yep,
he broke what? He broke the NCAA record for touchdowns, and he all he cares about is football. If you see some of his talks with Shadur Sanders before the draft process, Shadur's like, "Let's make a rap together." He's like, "I don't do that." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't play football." And he's like, and
yep.
he said, "When I want people to look up my name, I need to see American football next to it." And that it sold me after that. And these were coming out afterwards, and they were out before as well. But the Fortnite stream, like I'm all in on this kid.
Yeah,
Um,
Fortnite stream was awesome.
I think I think that this kid's gonna be a baller, and I think that having no noise behind the Titans is exactly what they want. They should now they gives them a chance
Yep.
that they don't have to fire their coach within the next year because Caleb Williams sucks, you know?
Yes.
And it's a different scenario because I feel like they
That's
wanted to fire their coach anyways, but that's an easy something I could go with real quick. The rest of
yep,
their
no,
draft,
totally agree. I mean, the only, like, complaint about the Titans is that they just don't have a lot of weapons for him.
no,
Like, they have guys, but
Tyler Lockett, that'll help him out.
I would like it.
Yeah. That actually it's funny. It's an
They've done
underrated
a
signing
great
that
job
won't
of
do much.
bringing in old receivers and turning them into impact players. Really
Calvin
worked
Ridley's a
out for
top
them
4 wide receiver
every
in the
year.
league. Traylon
A
Burks,
4?
top 4. That's what Cam
Oh,
Ward
right, just
said.
there.
Yeah.
I thought
Mm. Oh man. I like Gunnar Helm is like the main guy that your boy Eric Elmore, Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went here.
Oh, yeah, we never
So
talked about our wise guys of the draft.
yeah, I figured when we get to the teams
But that
we can talk about
guy,
them. Go
he
ahead.
he shredded Travis Hunter in college when he was at Stanford.
Oh
The
yeah.
one time they played, he had like 200 yards in that game.
That was
That
yeah,
was the
that
only
if
reason
you
he
look
was
at
on
that
my
stat
list. But
line, he's incredible in
yeah,
that game. And he's gonna have to face Travis Hunter twice a year. So
that is true.
there you go. They got the ultimate weapon. That's chess, not checkers, right there, baby.
That's right. Yep, the Hunter
Um,
stopper.
all right, I want to go. I don't know. So I know Kevin Winston Jr. is really good at the safety. Do you know? I
Oh,
mean,
I
Penn
like
State.
the second round pick Femi
Aja, Aja,
Oladejo, I think, from UCLA. So that guy was almost one of my wise guys of the draft because he switched positions from like off ball or yeah, off ball linebacker to like true edge pass rusher halfway through the season last year. And his athleticism is off the charts. So he's one of these guys that's like super raw, like technically not sound yet because he just
yeah,
switched positions, but the athleticism is there. And
that's
I
what the
was all
Titans
in on
need.
him. Like I wanted him in Washington. And he
Love it.
went, let's see, 20th
52,
in the second round. Yeah.
52.
Okay. So he was 9 picks ahead of their second. But I would have loved that.
I don't know about the last guys, but the first 4 rounds were pretty solid to me. They look pretty solid to me.
Yes.
A day 3 grade. I mean, A plus on with NFL.com. So they must have gotten some dogs there too. Um,
Yeah, the day
that's
three
good.
guys, I'll preface this before we get into it. I really don't. I can't add much about the day 3 guys.
No, it's gonna be like that for a lot of teams. There'll be a couple,
Yeah.
like, I know some of the Pats guys,
Let's
but
calling out some names. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Jaguars, speaking of the number 2 pick and Travis
Yeah.
Hunter, first well, let's do you have the trade details? Let me get that up real quick.
Off the top of my head, it was a first. Well, number 5, a first and a second next year, or was it second this year? Either way, it was number 5, a 1, a 2, and a later round pick, and then they got back a fourth or third.
Okay, they have man, now they just say the picks. Okay. They traded second overall pick in the first round, as well as the 104th pick in the fourth round and the sixth rounder for the fifth overall pick, the 36th pick, the 126th pick, so a fourth rounder, and then next year's first. So they got a pretty good haul. That Jaguars pick could be very good if they don't piece it together quickly. It could be definitely top, I think minimum like top 15. Like if they can sneak into the playoffs, that'd be great for the Jaguars. But I like this ballsy move by the Jaguars. They need a splash. They don't need him to be wide receiver one. They have Brian Thomas, and he can play. Like they're gonna. They sat down with him and they said right after they drafted him, we're gonna let you play how you want to play, and
Mhm.
that's cornerback and wide receiver. So they're a young team that, or a young front office that wants to do something splashy and wants to do something fun. And he came from the Rams where he already mentioned F them picks. And if you can get a franchise guy or you can get a franchise guy with this pick, then it's what makes it all worth it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those moves where I feel like there's a pretty there's a relatively small chance that the value you gave up is actually going to end up being worth it. Like Travis Hunter would have to truly be a game changing player, and like he would have to be what he was in college, like playing most of the snaps and like the best
You think
player
so?
on one side of the ball. I think so. I mean, they gave up like a first, second, and a fourth.
Yeah. And the second was this 36th overall pick, so fourth pick in the
If
second.
he's, yeah, I mean, that might have been extreme. If he turns into like a number one cornerback and can also play some receiver, then it's worth it. Um, I just don't, I don't like trading up at all. I
Yeah.
think that's where I'm at. I hate it. When the Browns did that, I thought that was a great move. I thought that they needed way more picks and they got them. Um, I get what you're saying with Jacksonville. Like, do have a young front office. I like him going to a Liam Cohen team because I feel like they're going to be creative with him on offense. It's just it was a lot to give up, and they're not a great roster either.
No, they're not.
Like it's not
And
like he
but
just fills all their
they were in
holes
the
all
playoffs
the
2 years
time.
ago,
They were in the playoffs 2 years ago. They
and
were horrible last year.
they were terrible last year. They were really bad. But I think
I don't know. We'll
getting
see. I Travis Hunter, I can't make up my mind. That's why I'm so like. If I was a GM, I think I would trade out because I don't want to take the risk that he is.
you are staking like your reputation on this guy. You're locked into
Pretty
history
much,
here.
yeah. And he's not a quarterback.
Yeah. And he's trying to do something that's never been done in the history of the NFL.
Yes, right. So that's why I'm hesitant. And I'm a pretty risk averse person. So like that's always going to be my take. But like you have to be aggressive to win. So, I
That's how
don't
I'm
blame
landing on
him.
this. I think you need to have like you need to nail your other picks and none of the other picks matter if you don't nail them anyways. So if you can guarantee that this guy is going to be something even if he's not, this generational game changer, but if he's going to be a good corner or a good wide receiver at least, I think. And if you can get one of the two, I feel like you're right. Like number 2 pick for a wide receiver or corner, like I don't know. You maybe he
It's
does have to play both.
never been worth it, I don't think.
unless it like unlocks something with Trevor Lawrence and you have Brian and
Yeah.
you have Travis Hunter now.
Yeah.
I do think, I mean, you're giving up I think the trade ends the first round of next year, no? Yeah. Yeah, because they gave
Yeah,
up all
because they
their
gave up.
picks for this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I like about it. You're basically giving up a first and you're saying screw it to the rest of this draft, but I got this guy in this draft. And I kind of like Jack Kaiser out of Notre Dame. I kind of like Caleb Renshaw out of Tulane. I don't know about the other guys, but I'm sure that if they get one other stud out of there, then that's a third player that they can hopefully, play. Um, I don't know. You're getting five guys a draft maximum, right? If you draft well.
Yeah. If you crush it.
Yeah. So if they could get three in this draft and then, get some nice free agents, unlock something out of Trevor, I think it could be worth it. But I do agree, Travis
It
Hunter.
could be.
You sold me on the Travis Hunter does have to play. I think he has to play both sides for this
Yeah.
to
He's
be
got to
worth
play
it.
both. Yeah. And it's not like he can still be. He can. I'm not saying that he's not a good player if he doesn't play both. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the value of what you gave up is
Completely
not
agree.
worth it.
Completely agree.
It's only worth it for quarterbacks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because they are truly
And
that level of game
situationally, it depends.
changer if
But
they're good enough.
right.
Yeah.
And like you talked about it with Travis Hunter going to the Browns, it's like now you have Travis Hunter. Now what?
Yeah, but
So at
that's why I
least the
like the
Jags is
Jags.
definitely a better
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And yeah, that wasn't necessarily to against the Jags. It was more so just saying like he's not a guy who's going to completely change the franchise.
not alone. Definitely not alone. And
Yeah.
the NFL, God, they must be partying after that trade because if he was stuck in Cleveland, maybe it would have been cool with Shador
Jacksonville's not
going
great
there.
either.
But yeah, but Jackson, he's from Jacksonville. He went to Jacksonville State as the number one recruit. This is, I think this is like it adds life into Jacksonville. People could be
Yeah.
partying in the pool wearing Travis Hunter stuff. Um, he's gonna
Duval.
be he's gonna be the Jaguar that everyone thinks about by the time he retires. If he stays on the Jaguars, he will be
I
the
hope so.
Jaguar.
I hope so.
1,000%.
I feel like I'm being way too negative about him. I hope it works out because it would be awesome.
It would be. It would be sick.
No, I don't want to get I want to
We're
get
only on the
roasted
number
at the
2 pick,
comment.
so let's keep it moving. We got the Giants.
I
They trade up in
yeah,
the
never mind.
first round. Oh, what? Sorry, sorry.
Nah, we can be done with the Jags.
Wait. I got one more. You got a guy that you got to shout
I
out
just think
because we
it's
don't have.
funny. I think no. I just think it's funny when you look at their draft board and it's like they didn't select one position of like they didn't select a premier position in this whole draft. They
Nope.
drafted two linebackers, two running backs, a guard, and a safety, and two
Two running
corners.
backs, insanity.
Two
Apparently,
two linebackers, and two running backs is insane.
apparently Tootin's really good. Apparently that guy has some speed to him.
I've heard that all the running backs are good.
That's the thing. And like,
The guy the Commanders drafted in the 7th round apparently is like a sleeper stud.
oh, that's
They're all
not.
good.
Yeah, they are all good. And then this was a deep running back class. So
Yes.
it is a strange use of picks. I'll give you that.
They have
Definitely a
two
strange
running
use of
backs.
picks. I know.
That's the other thing.
That Pats did this. Pats did this. I think 3 years ago with Belichick, and then we drafted two tight ends in the same draft, and I don't think any of them played. I don't think any of them played. Oh, it was insanity. All right, let's go. Let's go to the Giants.
All right. Giants.
Trading up again. How do you feel about this trade up?
I'm not a Jackson Dart guy,
Yeah, I'm
so
not
I
a
didn't
Jackson
love
guy
it.
either.
But the value is good if we're playing that game. What do they get? Do you have the trade details up?
No,
I
I
can
should
pull
have
it up
this
too if you
prepared.
don't.
Uh,
There was a link to the last one. It's not a link to this one. It was only a second, a future
yeah, they
second,
gave the
or
20.
maybe the 2nd.
They moved up to the 25th pick. They gave up the 34th, the 99th, and a third round pick next year. And I think they had two third round pick. They had one third round pick. So they gave up the lesser of their third round picks. And then one next year. And then you just basically move up your second. So you're giving up a third next year for moving up in this draft. I think that's pretty. I mean, and if this is your guy, it's
In a
worth it.
second.
Um,
Are you saying
I,
the
So they took the second round pick and they're less like the third round pick was another trade or something or compensatory pick or it wasn't their pick because they had the 65th in the third. So
Gotcha.
they're just like exchanging picks basically, and I think
Mhm.
that's worthy. Um, Dart though, I'm not a Dart guy. I think he's like a system quarterback that has to have the first read every time. I mean, if he gets chucked to league labors, that'd be nice. He doesn't have to play this year, and it saves the coaching staff. I think this is like a coaching staff, like and
Was
GM,
it?
like I think so, because if he doesn't play all year, or he gets in the last like 4 games and looks decent, then they save their jobs, right? No matter what their record is.
So I think Dable's a decent coach.
I think Dable's a decent coach. He won Coach of the
I
Year,
don't
right?
think I think Shane has done a terrible job as GM. But this draft, like
I like
this
this
draft
draft.
looks decent.
Yeah, I like
And
this
if you
draft.
like, maybe you just let him ride it out.
You got to see
Give
the
him
vision
another
at this
3 years.
point. It can't be
Yeah.
like and this Saquon thing, it's gets so like I think we've mentioned this Saquon thing on this pod, especially like 100 times. I've done it personally. And but it does get I mean, maybe it gets overplayed. Like, yeah, the Eagles won the
It
Super
gets
Bowl,
way
but
overplayed
they win the Super Bowl
because
because
they
Saquon
did.
like maybe they did win the Super
Yeah,
Bowl because Saquon there, but they had a lot of other pieces, not
the
just Saquon.
Giants were not going to win the Super Bowl last year if they re-signed Saquon Barkley. That's the point.
Yes, yes.
It sucks for them because he went to the Eagles and because of the clip from Hard Knocks. But like, it wasn't the most egregious thing that's ever been done, and that's how it got treated. Um, but this, like, they got Abdul Carter, who might be the best player in this draft. If
Yep.
not, he's almost certainly going to be one of the top 5 or 6 players in this draft. Um, like you took a chance on a quarterback, the second quarterback off the board. Like you can't fault them for trying. Darius
Yeah.
Alexander in the third round, I like Scadabo. Like,
Everybody
would
loves
you not be
Scotto.
excited about him? And then
Yeah.
apparently that guard that they took from Purdue, Marcus Mbao, is like was also a great value pick. So 2 days after the draft, it seems like they crushed it. Who knows how it turns out, but it seems like they
I
actually had a good draft.
I agree. It does seem like and I think Giants fans are happy with it. Maybe not so like, I'm
Definitely.
sure there's a
Yeah.
camp. There's gotta be a Jackson Dart camp. Like, there's a camp of fans that love him, and there's a camp of fans that hate him. And they 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 did crush this draft, and I think people are gonna be not like, they're gonna be surprised about it just because of how much it's how much the media attention has been bad on their GM and their drafting recently. Um, I think now they have a plethora of defensive linemen, and maybe they're not ready yet, but that's like the game plan that everybody wants. And maybe Carter's not ready immediately, maybe Alexander's not ready immediately, but they're going to be rotational guys on their defensive line for the next at least 5, 6 years. So
Yep.
they're going to be solid. Um, all right, I
And
love
they already have a
Scatterbo
good D
too.
line. So like if these guys pan out, like they're gonna be a top 3 defensive line in football.
Oh yeah,
Like without a doubt.
yeah. All right, Pats. I think we crushed it. I think we had a phenomenal draft. Um, I Will Campbell. I sold me on it. I mean, we needed a left tackle. Best value on the board. There wasn't a reason to trade down. No one was going to trade up, and I like. I mean, I can't complain about it. It's gonna be. It's either
Yep.
gonna. I just hope he doesn't play guard. That would suck. I think he'll be a left tackle. I mean, SEC freshman of the year. Come on. All right, and
He will be. I've seen a couple clips of him talking too,
oh yeah,
and he's
everything he
like,
says, everything that comes
get
out of his
behind
mouth.
that dude.
Yes. Everything that comes out of his mouth makes me more excited about him. And, after the draft, he was wearing that green suit. That was pretty tough. I thought he looked sick in that suit. His arms, every time I do see his arms, they look short. I gotta say that.
They
They
do
they
look pretty short.
they do look short. Like, and it's just because his
It might
body's
not
so
matter
big.
at all though.
No, it won't matter at all. And who knows it won't matter? The guy who played linebacker and defensive end and tight end on the Patriots and is now the coach. He knows it doesn't matter. And if it does matter, we got Trayvon Henderson, who apparently is like the best run blocker in the whole or pass blocker in the whole draft. We basically drafted James White. He's back, Mr. 12 points. Get ready for it. I can't wait. and he's a perfect complement to Ramondre Stevenson. We
Mm.
already signed him to an extension, so he's gonna have to be involved. We can't just like get we can't I don't think we can cut him right now. Which I wouldn't want to. I think he's been serviceable enough. And now when the key situations, he won't be on the field. It'll be Henderson. Henderson hopefully won't fumble. And Henderson got 7 yards a carry at Ohio State last year. Um, he's a dog. He didn't care that went and got Judkins. He came back to Ohio State to win a national championship, and he succeeded. So I love Kyle Williams too. I didn't love it when they drafted him. 5'11" wide receiver. He's gonna have to play out of his. Am I losing you? I think it might be on Chris's end. Normally it's on my end and I see the frames dropping. Um, I'll just keep running. Kyle Williams. I'm a little nervous. I mean, he's gonna be a slot like gadget guy. He really has to get himself open, but I think he's gonna be great after the catch. Every highlight that I saw, he was wide open, which I'm a big fan of. I hate when the highlights are like all contested catches or all they're mossing the guy. This guy's beaten all the guys that he was up against in the highlights. Um, and then Jared Wilson out of Georgia. That's who I wanted them to take with the 69th pick. Um, he's a dog. I mean, literally a Georgia Bulldog. And those guys I mean, their trenches have been stacked for the past 2 years. So he knows how to defend. And his footwork is apparently amazing. I could go on and on.
Who are we
The
on now?
later round picks. I'm on the later round picks. The only one I really know too much about is Braden Swinnen
Winston.
from LSU. Swinson.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to be like a second or third round pick.
Yeah, I heard he's a monster. I heard we got great value
That's
out of
he
that
sounds
guy.
like I wanted him too. I wanted all the edge guys. I got none of them.
You guys didn't draft an edge rusher at all?
No, yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay. Um, we got a kicker too, which I'm a fan of. Long, I feel bad though. We have the longest tenured Patriot, and he's been on the team for like 12 years. He's a Navy vet. Went to like Naval Academy alumni, I guess. I don't know if he's, but
Mhm.
um, he's probably gonna get cut. We drafted long snapper from the Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
so that's a shame.
Ron Rivera
Um,
did his first year, drafted a long snapper,
just
and
to
then he
cut the
sucked. He
longs.
was the worst long snapper ever.
Yeah, Cheeseman, right? That was Cheeseman.
He's been
Yeah, Cheeseman was awful.
like in the fifth round.
Um,
But you guys had a billion picks and took him in the seventh round. So
yeah, exactly. We played value here, unlike the last Pats teams. This was a really confident draft coming in, and I feel like did you see the Patriots? They got the Mr. Irrelevant pick. I don't know who they traded it for or whatever, and they took Kobe Minor out of Memphis. No idea anything about the guy.
yes, the
Did
A
you
minor
see?
tweet.
Yes, the the Patriots social media guy tweeted and deleted the Mr. Irrelevant pick, the graphic and everything, and just put a minor as um the description. He's probably got fired. I feel bad for him. He probably got fired.
Why?
You can't
What's
tweet
wrong
a
with
minor.
that?
You can't tweet a minor and try and I don't. I think that's a type
Why?
hinge because a million people want to be your social media manager. I feel like any sort of controversy, you're out of there.
How
Remember
is
the
that
guy who posted
controversy?
I don't I don't know. They had to delete it. If you
The
delete it, it's
lyric,
controversy. It is a lyric. Is
yes. I don't
is
think it's.
100%.
I don't think that's a controversy at all. I didn't understand that.
The well,
Oh, that
okay,
was funny.
that's like the Orlando Magic when Anthony Black and Grady Dick uh swapped and had Black Dick on they posted that and he got fired. So
Yeah,
I
that
that's
was
why I
funny.
think he might have gotten fired, but I don't know, maybe he didn't. Maybe shout out the social media guy though for the Pats because that was funny. Um, we can move on though. You can if you want to talk about any of these guys though. You missed the second and
Pats
third rounders.
guys. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I love Henderson going in. I wouldn't have hated if Commanders took him at 29. I like Swinson. I don't really know much about the other guys. But yeah, I mean, just sheer like volume of picks. They had to have had more than anybody else in the NFL, right? I mean, three of them are seventh rounders, but like
Oh, you
two
think
thirds,
so?
2/4.
No, there's got
I mean, they
you
had
gotta look.
one, two, three.
Nah, look at the Eagles. Eagles
They
have
have 11
4 6 rounders.
guys.
That's true. That is a lot of draft
Yeah,
picks.
but they're all 6th rounders.
The Pats. So the Pats got. Let me get the exact stats. I had it yesterday. I can't
They
believe
still had more than the
I don't
Eagles
remember it.
too.
Um, Come on, I was just so they got 11 draft picks, they got 13 UDFA's, and they got 12 free agents. Vrabel has just completely overhauled this roster, and it's something
Yep,
that has
that's
been
right.
needed to done um, for the past couple years. So Patriots are in the right direction. I'm excited. Let's keep going. We're up for the Browns. We talked about them for a little bit. Let's talk about their draft as a whole. I think Mason Graham is an excellent pick. I don't know anything about Carson Swearinger, but apparently he was pretty good at UCLA.
Seems like a dog, yeah.
Uh,
2
Judkins.
running backs.
Judkins before Henderson, I thought was a little weird. I was happy for it because the Pats got Henderson, but I always thought that Henderson was ranked above him.
He was. I guess it's just the fit that they wanted because Judkins is he's more of a bruiser.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that's
they
why they
got
got
Dylan
Dylan
Sampson
Sampson.
later, who I think is more of a So trying to be the Lions, I guess.
You know, maybe this is a bad draft. I like Harold Fannin though out of Bowling Green. I think he's underrated. Maybe this draft could suck. There's a way that this draft could suck.
2 running backs, I just never can't get
Never
on
a
board
fan.
with that.
No.
And
And two
again, like
quarterbacks.
linebacker,
Yeah.
running back, tight end, running back. And yeah. I don't even know if I like Mason Graham, to be honest.
Just gonna say, like, what if he's like everyone like he's just assumed to be a stud because he's a big Michigan D lineman. He could suck too.
He's
We could
not that
not. We could.
big.
He also just we couldn't hear his name. Like there's a chance we don't hear his name for the next
Yep. Yep.
5 years, 6 years.
Someone will sign him in free agency in 5 years for like a mid-level deal. Just be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that name from the draft.
See, and they could have gotten
Yeah,
Travis
this
Hunter.
draft might be
See,
horrible.
so what? They could have had Travis Hunter.
I
Um,
like that. I like that they got picks, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
and like,
Interesting.
why do you need a tight end
Yeah.
right now? I don't know. It's okay.
No.
That was quick. That's good. That's what we need. Let's go.
Yes.
Raiders.
Raiders. I haven't even looked at theirs.
Raiders. I mean, Genti is
Um.
what the main thing. I thought afterwards, I just thought about it and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like they want their guy. They already have the quarterback. Um, they got some O linemen later in the draft. They got 2 D linemen,
Mhm.
Tonka Hemingways and JJ Pegas out of Mississippi. South Carolina, Tonka Hemingway. Those are 2 big fellas. Um, And apparently the only thing I do know about their late round picks, Cam Miller is apparently watch out for Taysom Hill 2.0. That guy's
Oh
apparently
yeah.
yeah, apparently that's his mold. So that's fun. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with
Love to see that.
the Genti at the beginning. Did I?
Oh no. I didn't really have anything on the Raiders. I don't think I knew of any of
Is
these
he gonna be
guys
the
before
best
the draft
player?
started. To be honest, Genty, maybe.
Like what he's just gonna be awesome for the Raiders next year. Like it's gonna be and they got Brock Bowers and Genti just back to back drafts, the best player in the draft, probably.
Yeah. Well, Jane Daniels is the best player in last year's draft.
And then Drake May, and then we can go for the
Yeah,
Browns.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's don't overthink it type of pick. Um, it's hard to imagine he's not awesome.
Right.
Like they don't have a great O line. I like that they took 2 tackles in the 3rd round though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought they could have used another late round one too, but I don't think it matters for Genti, man. I mean, and he's gonna be wearing silver and black. Like that's gonna look amazing.
Mhm.
I'm glad he didn't go to a lame like this is, and not a lame team. Like that sounds bad, but like this is a recognizable like around the world. Like people know the Raiders. Like people know of the Raiders, and like
Yes.
he's not just like chilling. I mean, if he was in Jacksonville, that would have been kind of sad. I feel like even though I said the opposite about Travis Hunter. Um, I feel like the running back position doesn't bring it up enough. This guy's playing
At the
2
start of the
positions.
draft, the odds closed. He was the favorite to go to the Jags, which like I feel like that was never the case until
I
right
never
before the
thought
draft because we never
that didn't
talked
make
about
any
that.
sense. Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. They just had, I mean, Tank Bigsby went off for him, and they drafted ETN 3 years ago in the first round. Like they don't want to do that again. I do. Tonka Hemingway is
Uh,
gonna be a beast though. That guy's a dog. You want to keep? Oh, you got anything? You want to keep going?
nope. Yeah, we can keep
All
rolling.
right.
Jets is that? I don't have
Yeah.
the order up. I'm just going team.
No,
The
Jets
funny thing
suck.
about the Jets is we were talking about Membu. How like the New York fans would be pissed when they heard the name. They'd be like, Membu, like who's Membu? And they cut to the fans, and there's this old white guy who's just like, you can tell that he's pissed. Everybody else is like, woo, woo, woo. And he's like locked in on that guy. And it's like, that's the guy. That's who we were talking about.
Yes, exactly. That's funny that you looked out for him. They made a whole thing about uh the Jets reacting to these players. They showed like all the big quarterbacks that they showed the fan draft reaction to. And I didn't know
Mhm.
what like the point of it was. Don't they show all the fan reactions? Like they showed like a whole history of all these Jets ones. Like they're booing this guy or they're cheering for this guy. It's like I haven't it seemed and but then it was like it tried to get to this
I
point where
don't
like
know.
they were booing for Bus, but then like Zach Wilson comes up and they're all cheering and like Sam Darnold comes up and they're all cheering. So like I don't know. Uh, I like the Membu pick. I think it helps out their offense. I think they needed
Yep.
it. I think it's a perfect fit for them. I like the Mason Taylor pick a lot too. Um,
Yeah.
Malachi Moore, I recognize that name, and Tyler Barron. I don't know why I recognize that name, but um, that's a seventh round pick, so we probably won't be hearing too much of him. Um, how do we feel about Justin Fields going in here? They didn't leave the draft for the quarterback. Justin Fields is gonna be the man. And he has an O-line. He has an O-line now. Like, it's a young, up and coming, should be good in a couple years O-line.
I think he's a bridge. Like I think that's your best case scenario. I don't think there's finally no part of me that's like maybe Justin Fields will just have a year. Like maybe we're finally going to hit this untapped potential. Um, but yeah, I don't. Nothing has changed my opinion on him since he
I think that's
signed. I
fair.
guess.
I think that's fair enough. I mean, he's so limited in what you could do with him, and hopefully they can push past that. Let's keep this train rolling. We got the Panthers. We forgot to look at the offseason stuff while we're doing this, but that would have just made it so long. They did exactly though
Oh
what I
well.
said to do. The draft, Tara or Tet McMillan. Um, I people Nick wasn't happy. That's all I gotta say. The fan,
No.
no, Nick wasn't happy. Um,
Why?
because he's done with
Oh,
Bryce
because he's
Young.
done with Bryce. He doesn't want to
Yeah,
be coddled.
yeah, exactly. He thinks they're wasting picks on to basically that Bryce Young's never going to develop. Um, I think you got to do whatever you got to do to send in and give him as much help as possible. You had this spark from him, as we said. He's not a world beater. He's not like your guaranteed franchise guy. But this pick can last without Bryce Young, you know? Like this is a wide receiver that can play for your team for a long time. There was definitely some interesting conversations with this player specifically coming in, Tet. Uh did you hear those where it's like sometimes he just doesn't care about
He doesn't
football?
like football. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love
sometimes
guys like that where it's like, you're he's an awesome player, but like I just not like the game at all.
the does it
That was
matter?
Ant though, wasn't it?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what we said about Ant going in because he said he liked football more than basketball, and now look at
Steve,
him.
what's your favorite sport? And he said football. It was one of the best interviews ever. Or
He's
like
the
interview
best.
answers.
We'll get to the NBA playoffs in the next episode, but he is the best. Um, the I don't know how to feel about him. I think he's gonna be decent though. I think he's gonna be
I think it'll be
jump ball
good.
guy. He's a good compliment, I think, to Xavier Legette. They're both big fellas. And then they got Coker down the middle, or over the middle. I think it's gonna be good, and I think it's nice to have to give something to Bryce Young. I like the rest of their
Yeah.
draft. The
I like
Scorton.
Scorton.
Yeah, I
I,
was gonna
I
say.
kind of wanted him. And they got the other
And
edge
they
from
got
Ole
Princely.
Miss.
Yeah, he's good too.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that
I
name.
wasn't even gonna try.
I have so much FOMO, like looking at all these edges because I like that was the one position that I did the most research on because that's what I thought we were gonna do, and then get any of them.
Jimmy
Is
Horn.
Jimmy Horn
I was gonna say.
related to JC Horn?
No, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
He was the other Colorado running back or wide receiver, and I mean he's a little short, but I thought he was pretty decent.
a little short, yeah.
Um, and I
5'8".
Trevor Etienne. I thought he would go later. Um, but I kind of like him. I thought he was a dog in Florida. And he got kind of split carries in Georgia. I didn't think that was the right move for him going there, but I think he wanted to win at Natty. I like
Yeah.
Trevor Etienne. I think he's gonna be good. All right, let's keep this train rolling. What do we got?
Nine
Saints.
Saints.
Yep. Saints protecting Rattler in their first round. But actually maybe protecting Tyler Slow or Schlaw. How do you say that?
How do you say it? I feel like I've never heard less about a quarterback that went this early ever.
So he's 26.
Even before the draft. Yes, he's old.
He's the same high school class as Trevor Lawrence. He's older than Joe Burrow. Um,
Gosh.
have you seen like his arm mechanics in the combine? Have you seen that video? Video
Mm-mm.
gave me the ick. He throws it like
This
he
is
throws it like one of
funky.
those he throws it like one of those videos where it's an actor like in a football like high school TV show. And he has like and he like throws it like sidearm
Just
and
like
also like weak. Yeah, and he's like kind of just like pushing it. That's how he threw in that video, and I didn't like it. Um, I mean, he played for 7 years in college, like 8 years of college. I guess he's a ready to go starter. He broke his collarbone
can't believe
twice
he's worth
though.
a second round pick though.
I don't know how it could be possibly worth the 40th pick.
That seems
Um,
insane.
this is a I don't know any of these players. How about that?
No, I
I
don't
don't know.
either.
Devin Neal, I've heard of, the running back. Great. You got
Yeah, I've heard of Devin Neal.
yeah.
That might mean nothing. Like,
You probably just heard of him because he's a running back. That's why.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Uh, and you're right. Us not knowing the players might not mean nothing, but the value of what they've got so far was not good.
No.
Would they have
And
been
it's the
worth?
Saints, so they don't get the benefit of the doubt.
No, no, they don't get the benefit of the doubt. This would have been a bad Shadur team, right? It actually would have been the worst. It would have been a
Yeah.
terrible Shadur team. Because
It's the worst most teams.
yeah, it's ugh. All right. I don't like the Saints draft. That's fine. I never like the Saints drafts. I really never like anything they do besides
I
Spencer
don't
Rattler.
it's not it's not really the drafts. It's just everything that they do is bad all the time.
We got the Bears. Um, Bears interesting
They
pick.
just let Ben Johnson like go off
Yes.
the first 2 days.
I like their draft as a whole, and I like Colston Loveland actually. People were
I do too.
curious about him at 10 though. Um, I
They
it's like
probably like
it's
the way
just
that he
him or
lines up with
Warren.
Komet
Yeah,
as opposed to Warren and Komet only. Because like isn't Loveland like pretty much a pure receiving threat?
I thought he could block.
Whereas Warren's
I thought Warren's like everywhere. Well, Warren's like he's basically like they had him at quarterback, him at running back, they had him at slot wide receiver. Honestly, and it's funny because I heard contradicting things about Loveland's blocking. During the draft, one guy said
yeah.
he was a good blocker, and then Mel Kiper said he was terrible at blocking. So I don't know what he is at
So he's
blocking.
a good blocker.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He looks like a guy who would be mostly a receiving. Maybe I just made that up in my head.
It's funny in my head. It's like Michigan guy. It's got to be a decent blocker, right?
Blocker. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just look at him and he's like this tall string bean. Not string bean, but he's very long.
yeah. I mean, he's a big.
Well,
Either way, one thing we do know is that he's a red zone target for
yes.
Caleb Williams, and he's
And
gonna
also,
be.
like the people upset about it. Do you realize how highly he was ranked as a prospect? Like you're upset because he went ahead of Warren, but like he might have been the next best player behind Warren overall. So it's
Oh,
not like they reached that crazy on him.
I agree. That's yeah. You're taking yeah, and like oh, you're mad that they didn't take another tight end. Like they have some sort of process throughout this, and there's a like I'd be mad if like I would it would make sense. Sorry, not I would be mad. It would make sense if you were upset about tight end pick in general, but I don't see how you could be upset about Loveland over Warren. I mean, unless people just love
And
Warren out there.
yeah, I I know Ben Johnson is not like directly drafting the players, but he has a pretty big say, I would guess, as to who is being drafted to play in his offense. And in Detroit, he drafted They drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams. I would give him the benefit of the doubt for
Dude,
vouching for the guys that he thinks are going to play in his system. What? What's wrong?
sorry. I don't know if you could hear that music that
You
was
go down.
playing. There was just like ads playing on this website, and I couldn't mute
So,
it. It's so
oh,
annoying.
I hate that.
Yeah. Sorry
Um,
about that.
but anyway, like I feel like Ben Johnson is signing off on all of these picks, and like the GMs and the scouts are there to grade the players, and then he's going to come in and say these are the guys that are going to fit in my offense. So
Yeah,
when you go Colston Loveland in the first round and Luther Burden in the second round, I think I would trust him.
I
Could be
love the
wrong.
Burden
It's
pick.
the Bears. I do too.
I think it's amazing.
I do too.
I would have taken him on the Pats in the second
And
round, with the
yeah,
36th pick.
maybe it's like too showy, like too flashy of a draft, but I don't know.
And like they got
I don't know
Shamar
how you feel
Turner
about White.
too, which I think
I
he's a
love
dog.
Shamar Turner.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know about their
Apparently
tackle for
he's
Boston
like
guard, but I'm sure
character
he's fine.
wise.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
character wise too. That's why he fell a little bit. They might have a flashy draft, but like and they moved up a couple times to get like they moved up in the second round to get Turner. And they had 3 second
Yeah.
round picks, but does it
They had so
like
many picks.
yeah, I think it's like you want the flashy guys. I mean, those are the guys that stay around, I think. Like those are the guys that it's harder may, maybe I'm just kind of talking, but I feel like those are the type of guys that are harder to mess up.
Maybe.
You know, all right, that's fine. We can move. I don't think I landed that plane. Um I'm just saying I saw Luther Burden open all season and making plays all season. And I think that's going to be harder to
You
mess up
see,
than
he worked out after the first round.
oh, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Um all
They
right, what
also
do we
got
got next?
Maryland boy Ruben Hippolyte, who's a pretty sound tackler. He
There
was
you
like the
go.
most consistent player on their defense the last couple of years.
Love to
A
hear
bunch
it.
of Maryland guys got drafted.
Yeah. Yeah, Gamecocks did
11th
pretty well
most in
for
the
themselves.
country, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that they would have won more than 4 games.
The San Francisco 49ers, they just they wanted to become the Eagles. We're going to try our best to become the Eagles. Um, and they just got a bunch of big fellas. I mean, Micah Williams, I thought that was an egregious pick. I don't know how they don't take
Seemed like a reach.
yes, and I don't know how they don't take his teammate who was so much better. The Falcons ended up taking Jalen Walker, but how I don't see how you see those two guys in the same defense. And it's like these guys get infatuated with length and size, and maybe it works out for them. But sorry, I want the guy that gets all the sacks and gets all the awards instead of the guy who's just lengthier.
Yeah, I don't know. The Niners are another one where like I tend to trust them, but I don't know if I do anymore. Adam Peters is gone, and obviously I think that he's
See the mastermind behind
genius.
everything. Yeah,
He might have been the mastermind.
it's it is definitely an intriguing class for them. They got 2 wide receivers. They did get a quarterback, Curtis Roke. I think he
Yeah.
stinks though, and but they didn't get they didn't need an offensive tackle at all. So it's definitely going to be an interesting season for them. I do think that their defense got amazing though. Like I think these defensive players are good.
Mhm.
But I would have liked to see Walker in there instead of Michael Williams. I think that would have just made it an A+ draft.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I would agree.
what do we got next? Cowboys. Tell me about how do you feel about the Cowboys draft?
Let me pull it up. I didn't hate the Booker pick. It just seemed very early. Um, but I think it makes sense for them. Like
Yeah,
when they were at their best, they had the best offensive line in football, and now like it's kind of been worn down to the studs. Like that last piece, Zach Martin retiring, so they needed a replacement, and they were like, "Screw it, we're not going to wait. Like we're not just going to try to plug this hole. We're going to get the best guard of the draft." From all accounts, seems like a tone setter on the line too,
see how happy
which is
he
always
was.
good. Yeah, he was so
He
pumped,
was so
which was
happy.
kind of cool.
He was dancing.
I think he grew up a Cowboys fan.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Did you
Um,
his footwork while he's dancing on the stage? I mean, impeccable footwork out there.
but yeah, that was I. It was definitely a reach, but I don't hate it. And then I thought they got great value on their next two picks with
Easy.
Ezraku and Devon Revel. So I mean Ezraku, like I had it 19 to the Bucks, and then I wouldn't have been shocked if the Commanders took him at 29, and they got him at 44.
Yeah,
And then Siobhan Revel, I thought might be a first round pick. They got him at. I'm
76.
doing math because I don't have the total pick. I was thinking.
Sorry.
Um,
Sometimes with the third and the second
uh,
rounders, there's extras. I don't want you to get it wrong.
well, not until the end of the third.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But anyway, those three picks I liked. I couldn't tell you anything about the next however many guys.
What about
Um,
your boy
yeah, if
Tommy?
I were a Cowboys fan, Akeem DeSote.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's decent. Um, I don't know if he'll pan out. He's a big boy,
there you go.
but he wasn't like a game wrecker or anything. Yeah, I feel like he's got the size to at least be impactful as a seventh rounder.
All right,
Maybe he'll turn
Dolphins.
into like a depth D lineman.
And that's, I mean, any team could use in the seventh round, get a depth D lineman, just a
Yeah,
guy that you could
that's
throw out
all you
there.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll take that in the fourth round.
yeah, exactly. The Miami
All right,
Dolphins
Miami.
take Kenneth Grant at the 13th pick. Another could have been reach, but when you look at his size and how the Eagles won and what teams did this whole draft, it makes sense that he went at 13. Um,
Yep.
I think it's
Yeah, I
I
was
mean, they
not
got
that
him
surprised.
and Jordan Phillips out of Maryland and Dante
Yep.
Trader out of Maryland.
Yeah, they got a lot of Maryland guys.
That's pretty sick. Wait, who's is I'm guess is Phillips they're both fifth rounders. Who's better, Phillips or Dante Trader?
I mean, I noticed Trader more because he's in the secondary, but like Phillips is a giant.
Do am I tripping? Where did all their picks go?
I don't know. I was just looking at that too.
He had five fifth rounders, no
Who did they
third through
trade
fourth.
for?
So
It couldn't be Tyreek still. Did it?
maybe it could be some leftovers from
Like
Tyreek.
years ago. Or
Yeah, that was
Ramsey.
years ago. Could have been Ramsey too. No, but didn't they trade like a third and Tyler Long or Hunter Long? Something crazy like that. It was like the smallest package
Yeah,
for Jalen
I didn't
Ramsey.
remember it being a lot.
That's interesting. I wonder if they kept trading back or something. Oh, I do know they traded up because in the
They
second round
straight
they had
up.
they traded up in the second round for the offensive guard out of Arizona. I saw a rumor today that
Mhm.
apparently the Pats were going to draft him, um,
Oh, really?
and then they traded up above them to take him. But I'm fine. I mean, that means we got Henderson, so that's fine with me. All right, let's keep rolling. Colts. Colts. I mean, I think Colts actually had a fantastic draft. They got the guy that they
I
wanted.
mean, Warren,
Fell
yeah,
right to
Warren
him.
fell right into their laps.
They got your another one of your guys, JT.
Yep.
I mean, if you can get a national, any of the national championship D line or O lineman, I just want
Yeah.
them on my team every year.
Yeah.
Um, and then Riley Leonard, I
I
guess
think he's a
they
guy
got
that like the
Daniel Jones.
size is there and he's gonna be a good run defender. They just have to teach him like finesse
Pass rush
moves.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the trade off that I want.
Yeah, I would
I
take
want the
that all
size.
the time. Yeah. And then they got Riley Leonard, which is the only other interesting pick that they have. Um, who he's like
Daniel
basically
Jones.
Daniel Jones. Yeah. All right, we
Yeah, it is
got
like I feel like it rarely happens where like you pencil into a team to take somebody and then they actually fall to them or like they actually decide to take him, and that's what Tyler Warren was for the Colts.
yeah, like everyone just had like a high like it was like everyone was in the GM room then when they picked.
Yeah. Right.
The Let's talk about the Falcons. I actually like their draft
Okay.
in a vacuum. I like Billy Bowman out of Oklahoma. I like Xavier Watts. And I like the two edge rushers that they got. Go ahead with the rest. Because you were talking about trade ups earlier. I figured you take them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you have a similar take in that giving up a first round pick, and I think what they get like a third back for it. But giving up a first round
Yeah,
pick
let me
to
get up
move up to
official.
pick number 26 is kind of crazy, especially in a class that's like it's very deep at edge rusher. And I understand that, like
James Pierce
James
Jr.
Pierce Jr. from a talent perspective is better than the 26th pick. And there were some questions about I don't know, what was it like character, maturity, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand seeing that and like wanting to pounce on it. Holy crap, giving up a first round pick to move up to 26 when it might not be good next year. Like if Penix is not the guy, it might be ass.
I wanted to
And
make
that
like
pick
a
might be very valuable.
I was thinking about the value of that pick, and I just thought about it very simply, like on my car ride home from work. Has to be better than 26. It has to be better than 26.
Yeah,
They have to have
yeah.
the 27th overall pick in the draft, and that means they're in like the NFC Championship.
It would be yeah. I think
Because
it's
what? Commanders
divisional
got
round.
28.
They were 29.
Oh, okay. So yeah, divisional round. You'd have to be in the
Yeah, they
divisional
have
round
to
of the
make it
playoffs.
to the tournament.
This is insanity. And you just and I don't know. Unless you thought like this the number one guy on their board, there's no way he falls any farther than this. We have to go get him. That's the only thing that they could have thought of.
It
You
better work. I mean, I love that they drafted 2 edge rushers in the first round. If Jalen Walker, well, whatever he ends up being, drafted an edge rusher and then hybrid linebacker edge rusher. Like I love that.
yeah,
I just it was shocking that they gave up a first round pick to do it, and the Giants didn't have to do that.
that's the other thing. And the Giants traded up for a quarterback,
Yes.
and it happened right before him. They must have been pissed. Must have been pissed, dude. If I got off the phone, that the Falcon and the Rams are genius because they got that phone call and immediately said, "Stay on the
Yeah, we're
line."
saying, "Boop."
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
just stay on the line. We're in. We're looking whatever you wanna work for, because they got a second round pick out of this. It's not like they just got this future first. Dog just bite you.
He's chewing on a ball, and I got my finger too
Oh,
close.
nipped you. Or
Oh,
nicked you.
more than a day.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it has to work out. And it's the same thing that happened with Michael
Yeah,
Penix.
it's
Like, it
gotta
has to
work.
work out. Like, it absolutely
And if
has
it
to.
does, then like they look like geniuses. Like no one's complaining about the Texans moving up to get Will Anderson
Yeah. Yeah,
because
because
it's worked out.
they traded for the 3rd overall pick. They had to be mid-tier for that to be valuable, and it worked.
Right. Yeah,
This is the 26th pick!
that's
Like,
fair.
come on, what are we
I know.
doing?
It's
You ha
odd. It's very odd.
they must have thought James Pierce Jr. was, like, the 5th player on their floor. Like,
He might have been.
yeah,
He might have been.
um, it's
There probably comes
definitely
a point in the draft where they're like, we have to have him. It's like you've
it's
got the Ravens, the
the
Lions,
only
and the
question,
Commanders all
right?
coming up.
Yeah.
They could have taken it. Like the Commanders might have had him ahead of Connerly.
They
Ravens might have had him ahead
Yep.
of
The Lions coulda gotten him too. So,
or
you jumped in front of the right
yeah.
teams.
Yep.
It's just did you
It's just a lot.
and maybe you did need to jump. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Um, alright. Let's, I'm sure I know Thomas, our Falcons representative, is behind it, but
I
I don't
don't
know
hate
what
it.
I don't hate it either.
It's like it's similar to the Jags in a way.
Yeah. And you're doubling on a strength, or not a strength, but you're doubling on a pick that you
Yep.
just picked. So, like, if they're both
Yeah.
good, then you're
It has been a weakness
for
for our
10
entire
years.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
They're like
Um,
Vic Beasley Jr.
this was the first top 15 pick the Falcons chose on a defender since, Vic Beasley, which was 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't every first round pick that wasn't a defender. Like, they had a couple of offensive guards and they had a cornerback, AJ Terrell, but I think he was like 18. So this was
Yeah.
top 15. It's
Same.
pretty nuts. Uh, Cardinals. What did the Cardinals do the first round?
Card. Uh
I actually forget.
oh, Walter Nolan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and they got Will Johnson. He slid.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, they doubled up on D line too because they got Jordan Birch in the
Oh, there you
third.
go.
Um, added secondary. They didn't draft an offensive player until round 6, and it was a guard,
That's what they
which, like, I
needed.
kinda love because
That's what they
the
need.
defense has been so awful for a couple of years now.
Well,
So,
and look at the
yeah, I
value that they
definitely didn't
got
hate it.
in all these picks.
Yeah.
I recognize it's funny as and like, you know, I guess you're listening to me because because you respect my opinion right now if you're listening. But I'm just a guy doing a podcast and I recognize all these names besides the last two picks. And I mean Jordan Birch went to South Carolina. The two guys from the national championship defense, one guy from the national
Oh,
championship
yeah, you
defense
mean
last
national
year.
championship linebacker?
Yes, and cornerback. Like he had to go against like I don't know much about Denzel Burke, but I would have taken him much earlier than the 5th round, I feel like, just seeing, um, the Ohio State cornerback. Uh, and I love Walter Nolan. When he came out, I was like, "That guy is a freak athlete." Like, he's so big, but also,
Cool.
like, skinny. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Um,
Yep.
he's a freak. I love this Cardinals draft. Um,
Yeah, I liked it too.
let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bengals got I didn't they got the guy that I didn't like,
Mm.
the Shamar Stewart guy.
Yeah, I don't think they're the right team to take it.
No, because they need a player now.
Like, this
They
is
need a guy
guy that you have
now.
to develop.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of
Yeah, I
that.
wasn't crazy about it. But who knows? Like, he might be a freak. I was
It could work
gonna
out
love
very
that.
easily. I mean, it's just these
Yeah,
high volume, stretch guys where they're lengthy, they have all the talent and everything, but you don't know if they have
four
the skills.
sacks in 3 years.
You know, you know. It's like, bro, why?
He could be the biggest bust ever.
Yeah, he could never hear this guy ever again. I do like Demetrius Knight though, their 2nd round pick. He's a dog, South Carolina. He
Okay.
was a monster on that defense. I do think it was earlier than I was expecting him to go. Um, but they needed a linebacker, and I think that will command that defense um, within the next couple of years. He'll be the head
Yep.
honcho there. Um, I like that pick a lot. He flies around the defense. He can get to the quarterback. Um, so maybe he'll be better than Shamar Stewart. Who knows? Maybe Shamar Stewart.
Yep.
What if he's like the best defender? Like he could just be like the best
He
defender in the
might.
league.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
might be. You
I have
don't
no
know.
idea. All right,
ESPN has wide receivers the Bengals' 3rd biggest need. That kinda seems insane.
it does kind of seem insane. I feel like defensive tackles probably. That's probably number one, right? Defensive
I
tackle.
don't even have D tackle on there. It's cornerback, edge, receiver, tight end, guard.
Oh, they're just worried about the guys that like need the contract extensions, I guess, for the edge and the wide receiver. But no, I don't think that they.
They got them. The receivers got them.
Oh, that's true. The receivers did get them. So edge is definitely they do need some edge help. So I guess Shamar Stewart. I mean,
Yes.
if he could develop though, that he needs to, it might take a couple
Yeah.
years. All right, let's go to the Seahawks. This is my favorite draft
Shout out
of the
Jerry.
year.
Is
My
it?
favorite. Yes, absolutely. Shout out Jerry. He sent me when we did the fan mock. He said, "I want one of two. I want two guys, but I guess I gotta only do one." He said Gray Zabel and Nick Emmanuel, and he got them both with his two picks. So GM Jerry, shout out GM Jerry. Um, the tight end out of Miami is apparently phenomenal. Apparently he's pretty awesome. And then we got Jalen Milrow in the 3rd round. This is the perfect spot for Jalen Milrow.
Yeah. No, I do
It's
like that.
this is I am I maybe am over might be overexcited. Um,
For Jaden Milroe.
yes, I wrote a
Or just
whole
in general.
no,
Yeah.
in Jalen Milrow. I wrote a whole I not wrote, I said it into my notes app. I had a whole thing. Yeah, here we go. Um, the way he runs reminds me of a lizard, and I don't want that to offend Jalen Milrow. Um, but it reminds me of a lizard, and the only other person I've ever seen run like that is Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson had the same problems that Jalen Milrow did in college with the accuracy. I mean, not the same. Milrow is definitely a worse talent than Lamar was, for sure. That's a given.
Yeah,
But
Lamar won the Heisman.
yes, yes. But the way that these guys run, when
Yeah.
me and you run, our legs are doing one thing and our arms are doing the other. right? They're not like they're supposed to be in one motion, but they're not actually in one motion. I run clunky. I don't like the way I run. But these
I
guys,
run very robotically like
yes, very
this.
robotic. Yes, your arms are like you don't know what to do with your arms. These guys they run in one fluid motion. And it's that's why it reminds me of a lizard. You ever like kick a bush and you see a lizard run out?
Yeah,
Their arms and
so
legs going at the same time. Yeah, Bolton, and you never see them. And they slip past everybody. Uh, and this guy, I don't think he's going to start his first year. I don't think he should start. They have Sam Darnold on that 3-year fake 3-year contract for a
mhm.
reason. Um, and I, the, he doesn't have a good teacher for accuracy. I'll give him that. They do need like a veteran quarterback in there to like maybe teach him a little bit. But we took Anthony Richardson as the 4th overall pick, not we, but as the NFL. He was just accepted as like the 4th overall pick, and you can't tell me Jalen Milroe is not like I don't know, pretty much the same guy, maybe better. If this guy didn't play for Alabama and
Like, the
have those
arm
big
talent isn't
losses,
there.
but he could
He
throw a
didn't have the arm
ball.
to
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. And but they have the same problem where they can't like they don't throw it short and they don't throw the small completions well enough. Um,
right.
if Jalen Milroe wasn't losing, like if we didn't see the Michigan 4th and 2 in our brains, like maybe he doesn't go. Maybe he goes in the second round. Like I feel like this just to get this type of value in this draft, and there's no other quarterback in the draft like that. And there's maybe one quarterback in the NFL like that, and because of what I just said, he might not work out because there's only been one quarterback in the NFL like that, but you have a chance of getting something really special in the 3rd round.
He is definitely, like, one of the most fascinating prospects just from an athletic perspective of, like, what he can do physically at that position is very intriguing, and to bring him in the 3rd round. I love it. Like, I think there are major questions, obviously, and that's why he wasn't a first round pick. Um, but to take that shot in the 3rd round, I think is an incredible value.
It makes it makes the Sam Darnold thing like chewable for me.
It kinda looks smart.
It does look
I like, the
smart.
more details that came out about the Darnold contract, like, they can basically get out of it after a year, and even if you get out after or get out of it after 2 years and, like, you have Milroe there and he's ready, and that kind of works out perfectly.
Just to leave the draft with the
Milroe
2
might suck, like,
freaks
he might suck.
athletically, but he'll be fun. He'll be fun and he'll sell
Yeah,
like
it'll be fun.
and I think he has a floor to him that is at least, Justin Fields probably he could
Maybe,
be
yeah.
Justin Fields. Um, I also like Riley Mills at Notre Dame, another D lineman that played in the national championship. Torrey Holt at a Colorado State is another wide receiver that I with cooked, or not cooked, but he had battles with Travis Hunter, um, and I think he's pretty good as well. And they drafted a fullback. I mean, how can you not love this draft? They drafted a fullback out of Alabama. Like that's just awesome. Um, last thing I got to say about Milroe, Nick Saban said that he was the fastest player on Alabama. Player.
Yes, I did
Um,
see that.
and
Not
he didn't
yeah,
test
not quarterback.
anywhere. He didn't run anything. He didn't throw it on anything. Um,
Mm.
there's so much potential with this guy, and I can see all these other teams just waste quarterbacks in draft after draft with all these other like shots in the dark. Like this is a shot in the dark that it is a shot, but it's way more calculated than some of these other ones.
I'd rather have him over Slough.
Rather have him than Shadur.
Yeah,
If I'm not starting
I
either
agree with that.
this year, then I would say that yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, all right. Where we at? Buccaneers.
Ooh. I
Oof.
thought the Ibuka pick was weird.
Yeah, I did think that was weird.
I thought that was weird when he
I
just re-signed Godwin. There's so many holes on that defense.
and they just like got Godwin again, and then they doubled up with the rest of their
I
draft.
love Ibuka, and like the receivers are getting older. Like Mike Evans is eventually gonna hit the twilight of his career. Like Godwin just signed an extension, but it's probably his last big extension. So I get it. Like don't know, at 19, with the guys that you could have had, you had Campbell there, you could have had James Pierce. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. I
Odd.
This is a tough one. It is a tough one. It's
And I love Ibuka. It's not about Ibuka.
no, it's
Like
about
I
the
said
fit.
pre-draft that he was someone who I was willing to like add my reputation to.
Now we might not even see him play like consistently for the next,
Yeah.
2 years. This depends on they must know something about Chris Godwin that we don't know. Because but then why convince him to stay? Which is the question. The Patriots gave him the bag and they convinced him to stay and then drafted his replacement. Kind of brutal, but you know, sometimes like maybe it was just best player on their board. We didn't like any of the other guys. Just go with
Yeah,
the guy that's
maybe.
guaranteed.
And that's
And
fine. Like that's the way you should do it.
they lost. They were relying on Jalen McMillan a lot last year. Maybe they didn't want to do that again. And Mike Evans will get hurt eventually. Chris Godwin will get hurt eventually. So I think it's good insurance for Baker as well. It's definitely questionable
Mhm.
though. I don't know about the rest of their guys. I mean, they just doubled up on edge and cornerback, and then another wide receiver. So just love doubles in this draft. All right, Broncos. Yeah, Broncos. We got the Broncos. What did they do in the first round? Oh, they got
Uh
Barron.
Today, Baron.
Perfect, perfect pick for them. This is like just doubling down on strength. Um, to get him in the 20th. They compared him immediately to Patrick Surtain, which I don't think is. I mean, he was the reigning defensive player of the year. I'm pretty sure. So like that's it's a
Yeah.
little high praise. So I don't think he's that good, but I do think he's a good man. They play man coverage. I mean, that's what they run with. Um, that's what they run with Pat. So this is going to be a perfect fit for him. I like the RJ Harvey out of UCF running back. Um, they get him a wide receiver and they got a couple edge rushers. So two SEC edge rushers too.
Yeah, I know this was a good draft. Right, and a
Yeah.
punter.
Yes, SEC punter just means more. Uh, and they got another tight. I don't know, late round tight ends. They not. I don't even know if they're worth talking about. Unless they're like special. What do you know? You know anything
He's
about
6'7".
Pat Bryant, Illinois? Not to put you on the
I
spot.
don't
I was just
he's
wondering if
big.
he's got anything.
No, yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine.
I think we
Um,
played Illinois this year.
it's funny. South Carolina did. I, I, I guess I didn't notice him enough. Um,
He
all
probably
right.
sucks.
Yeah, so yeah, that means he's garbage. Steelers, Chris, we gotta question your off season game plan here for the Steelers. So your game plan was take best player available and tank. Is that what they did?
I think they took best player available. Uh, like I like Derek Harmon in the first round at 21. I like Caleb Johnson. I'm
Jack Sawyer's
pissed
gonna be
about
nice
Jack
for them.
Sawyer. That
Yeah, he's
was
gonna be
like
nice for them.
single digit picks away from the Commander's pick. I feel like he's a great Steeler too.
No,
I
he's
maybe
got
it's just because
Steeler
he's
written
white and
all
TJ
over him.
Watt is white, but
Yeah, no, but he's got Steeler written all
um,
over him.
yeah. And then Will Howard, like take a shot on him at the end. I didn't hate that. So I don't hate their draft. They're gonna get Rodgers there, right? Like at some point, that song and dance is gonna end.
I hope so.
So it's like it's not a tank, but if
No,
the
it's
Rodgers
not a
thing
tank,
doesn't
but
work
for
out, then they might accidentally suck.
they
I still feel like with Mason Rudolph, they win 7, 8 games.
no, 1,000%. They've done it before. They've done it before. They
Yeah, they won games with Duck Hodges starting like half the season.
is w- maybe not this year, but Will Howard's going to be a quarterback for the Steelers at some point, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like
absolutely.
and I feel like I feel like that's a kind of a perfect fit for him. Like I think that's a
I
good.
don't hate it.
No, I don't hate it either. I like that pick. I think there's a chance. I wouldn't want him to start, especially as a fan. I wouldn't want him to start this year because you're just like putting on all
Yeah,
that pressure. But if you do get Rodgers, You have to get Rodgers, actually. Now that I think about it. Like, there's no other option. You have to get Rodgers.
There's no if, yeah.
Maybe you trade back for Kenny Pickett. Now the Browns got expendable. Kenny Pickett, bring it back. What's a worse QB room than Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard? Is it Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders,
I
and
was
Dillon
about to say
Gabriel?
maybe Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, uh, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, and Riley
That's a
Leonard.
bad
It's not
QB
great.
room. That's terrible.
Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, Tommy
Jackson
DeVito,
Dart
and Jackson
Jackson
Dart
Dart.
is a fascinating
There's
QB room, but I don't
there's
think it's
so
very
many
good.
fascinating QB rooms. There's a lot of
There are,
guys in a
yeah.
lot of these QB rooms, and
Yeah,
none
like
of
who do
them are
you want on
guys.
Hard Knocks?
Oh, I don't know.
They're all
They
great options. I think the Giants would be the
just run it
best.
back.
Russ.
Not,
Well, but now it's real Hard Knocks.
but I feel
Bears
like
were
the
still
owner would
boring.
just lose his mind, right? He just sees all the cameras roll back in. He's like, "You gotta be kidding me." Are they doing Hard Knocks still? I thought they were done after Belichick
The real
poo-pooed
one.
on it.
No, that was just like the college one.
Oh, okay. All
I
right,
think
all
they're
right, all
doing the NFL one still.
right. Okay, I hope so.
Also, speaking of Belichick, you want to talk about did you see any of the interview that he did?
Yeah, the interview's weird. That's all I
It's
gotta say. It's weird. He's a weird dude.
hard to watch.
It is hard to watch.
I
And like,
I
she's
did see
definitely
a theory that
is she
his
a prostitute?
that's what the theory was, and it was pretty convincing evidence
Why
actually.
would eh, he said the interviewer asked Bill Belichick where did you and Jordan whoever his new girlfriend meet, and she
Yeah,
screams you were not talking about
shut
that.
that down. Yeah,
Yeah, like that was weird. That was so weird. Um,
that was
I'm just glad it's not associated to the past right now. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, that's true.
I'm if the, I because I would
And
never.
it's like Bill, what are you doing? Like, why do we have to have this last part of your career where you're dating a prostitute,
No,
watching
it's
college football? A weird. Why did he agree to do the interview in the first place?
that I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like he's got to know that he's how to describe him. It's off.
He wrote a book and didn't mention Robert Kraft at all. And then when they asked why didn't you mention Robert Kraft, he's like, "Oh, it's about football and my experience in football." What? Your experience in football was under him, or at least for not all of it, but the time you won 6 Super Bowls, it was.
20. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but that's a discussion for over the summer, I think, because he'll be lingering. He'll be lingering.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
where are we? We're on the Chargers, which
Yeah.
they got
Gotta
the
love
running
it,
back.
right? First 2 picks at least.
The running back,
Yeah, they got
right?
Hampton.
Hampton, yeah.
Got Trey Harris in the second round. Um,
I love the Trey
got your
Harris
boy
pick.
Kennard later.
They did get Kennard.
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick too. Um, the Kennard's gonna be amazing. I can't believe he fell in the 4th round. I think he's gonna be a stud. I like Trey Harris a lot too. I think he's gonna get wide open. Do we like that Marion Hampton pick? I mean, I like Marion Hampton as a player. They just signed Najee Harris. I
I
know they
like
want to
him.
run the football, and I guess now you just have like another you just have another guy and instead of Najee
Yeah,
Harris.
I mean, you could probably get out of that Najee Harris thing pretty easily,
Yeah, it was probably a 1 year deal
and it wasn't
anyways.
expensive.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't have any like super glaring holes that they didn't fill also in this draft. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
felt like receiver was the big one. They needed a D tackle replacement.
yeah, they
They
needed an
got
edge rusher. So
Amari
Kennard.
Caldwell from Oregon. Never heard of him, but
No, I never heard of him either. Oregon's got money though, so I like any of those draft picks. It's like they're probably some 5-star that yeah. Um, I think it's funny. I'm now thinking about it. How Kennard learning from Khalil Mack. Mm. It's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Packers. I thought this pick sucked.
Really?
That's where I'm at with this. I thought it was cool that they did the whole song and dance. Were you watching the draft? Um,
I had it on, but I didn't have the volume on.
oh
You
yeah, we were
texted me
talking
about
about
it.
this. Yeah,
I was wondering what was taking him so long.
the guy comes up and he's like, and for the first time since 2002, with the what is this their 23rd pick, they select wide receiver, and everyone goes crazy. Matthew Golden, like I thought that was cool. The presentation was cool. I think Matthew Golden's a fast player. Congrats, you have a third wide receiver too. And I know we put like the fan. I mean, we kind of liked having the. I guess we said in the fan thing with Mbuka, like you get this guy that he's going to be reliable, and maybe he's the number 2 wide receiver, but at least you have a reliable guy. I don't know if this guy's going to be reliable. Like this guy, all the fast guys are high variance. When was the last time a guy that broke the record has like done anything? And was it the
Yeah,
Chiefs guy?
that's true.
The Chiefs guy was the last fast guy.
Okay.
Um,
Worthy?
yes, Worthy was the last fast guy that anyone gave a shit about.
Well, it was last year.
It's true. But that's my point though. That's my point. It was last year. Like every time
What do you
anyone
mean?
breaks this, the Taquan Thornton's never done anything in the league. John Ross never did anything in the league. Um,
Oh, John Ross is such an easy like
he's number 8 overall pick.
John Ross. Oh, I know.
Oh
I know.
yeah. I don't know. And he's wearing number 22. That was when I was out.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
That's disgusting.
Especially for a
Disgusting.
fast guy. Like you need
Shouldn't
a
be
single
allowed.
digit number.
He was
No,
supposed to be 81. I thought that was cool. No, he needs to, I'm
no,
out. I'm out.
that's not okay.
I think Anthony Belton's good though. Offensive tackle at NC State.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I don't know much about the other guys though. John Williams, I think.
I
There's a Jonah
yeah, I
Williams
don't know
in the
any of the
league.
other guys.
No.
John Williams.
Do you have thoughts on Golden? Do you think this is a good pick?
I think it's fine. I think like eventually you need to take a shot on a receiver. Like you can't keep running out the same like wide receiver twos all the time. And like he has potential to become a one, but I don't know. I feel like he's not going to be. Like, I'm
I just,
hesitant. I'm with you on the fast guys. I'm hesitant
yeah.
on that.
I would rather just have them get some wide receiver in the free agency. I mean, that's what their running back was asking for in the offseason. Like when your running back's like he's a player on the team. Like I think he should
Yeah.
like I don't know. All right. What are we at? We're at dude, this is a long pod. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just
we're at the Vikings. We're chugging along.
who
Uh,
wait, I thought they traded. Oh no.
no, they
Why
didn't.
did I
They
think the
took
Vikings?
this was the
Oh,
most
Houston.
forgettable pick in the whole first round.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't even
don't
know
even
what
know if I was watching.
happened. There was so much stuff going on about the Giants, and then I saw like the Rams were looking to move. Like I didn't know what was going on. I was too worried about the trade. And Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. Hey, national championship guard. I like it. He can't
That's
hit.
right. Can't go wrong.
And they got your
I
boy
felt
Ty
my love.
Felton. Yeah.
Yep.
What about Kobe King too? Wasn't he an Alabama recruit?
I
Flipped or
could
something?
not tell you.
All right. Well, that's the Vikings draft. We got to keep him up.
Bartholomew is an awesome name.
That is a sweet name. You never see that
I
type
don't know
of
how to pick.
Bartholomew anymore.
No, you
And it's
never do.
no. That's a great tight end name too. Bartholomew.
Yes.
Okay.
Houston got both of the Ohio or Iowa State guys, the receivers,
That was weird.
which is kind of, and I feel like was a little bit unnecessary.
It was. How does
I
that
also
work?
heard that apparently they wanted to trade back up to draft Connerly in the first round. It was like, why do you trade out of 25 if you then wanted to come back up and draft him at 29? I guess they thought that they
I must have thought he would
get
fall to
like
like 32.
would no, they wanted. I knew they wanted 29.
Oh, they
Like
wanted to
they were
trade
one
with
of
the
the teams.
Commanders.
Yeah, they're like, no, we actually want this guy. I thought that was weird. And then they
That
drafted
is
tackle
weird.
in the second round. Odd.
I like the Minnesota guy. I thought he was projected to get first round in a couple things that I saw. Um, I don't know much about the rest of the guys that they have. I've heard of Jalen Reed out of Penn State, um, but that's all I got. All right, the Iowa State wide
Graham
receivers.
Mertz.
That's weird. So weird.
Mertz sucks.
Who? Mertz? Yeah, Mertz is
Graham
terrible.
Mertz.
That's such a waste of a pick. That's what I'm talking about with these
It's
quarterbacks. Like, why pick that? Why are you picking that?
yeah.
There's just in the 6th round, you just see quarterbacks that get picked that are never going to play. It's like, what are we doing here?
For Will Howard, he'll get out there.
No, he's playing. He's 1,000% playing. Rams, they traded, of course, with the Giants, but second round pick, Terrence Ferguson. I like that pick out of Oregon. I thought he had the potential of he was he was rising throughout this whole process. And I think he tested really well in the combine. And I like Chris Paul. Chris Paul out of Mississippi. I thought he was a good linebacker
I
on
love
Mississippi
Josiah
last year.
Stewart.
The edge, yeah, Michigan.
Yeah. It great metrics, pass rushing metrics.
And they got another the national championship D lineman, baby. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The Rams always know what they're doing. It's funny. You'll never hear some of the Rams draft picks you'll never hear of again, but they play every snap.
Yep.
All right, where are we going here? Now we're at
7.
Ravens. Ravens time. They kill it every draft. They did it again. Their top 3 picks are the best value in the draft, maybe. I think Starks could have been if safety was valued higher, he would have been a top 15 pick. If Mike Green didn't have allegations against him, he probably would have been a first round pick. If Emory, I don't know what's up, why Emory Jones fell that far. He had when I was looking at the highlights, there was a couple big games that he had he let up some bad sacks. And if you're an offensive tackle, those big games that are on national television against SEC schools, if you mess up, you're falling. But I think he's incredible too. He was on the other side of Will Campbell, and their whole offensive line was an absolute unit. And I don't know about any of the rest of the guys, but those top 3 picks they're all going to start for the Ravens. Maybe not start, but the 2 defenders will start.
They
The
will at
offensive
some
tackle
point.
will eventually start. Yes.
Yeah.
You know about any of the other guys?
Nope.
Let's move on then. Lions, dude. Lions, value. Of course, all these things are based off what you hear and what people say. But I did not get good value out of these guys.
No. I thought their first round pick was weird.
Yeah, Talik Williams.
They had ESPN had him as the 8th ranked D tackle.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
They've been playing with fire the past couple drafts, where they just get the guys that they want on their board, and it worked out. So hopefully for them, on their sake, it works out. But it's definitely it was a strange draft for them, value wise.
Yeah,
not so good. Commanders, baby. All right, let's round up the pod. Let's get the Commanders and run these guys out.
I'm falling asleep.
Right.
I loved all of their picks. I just wish they had more than 5 of them. I thought Connerly in the first round. At first, I was hesitant because I was so ready for an edge rusher. But he was the top player on their board. Apparently, they were waiting for it. They were nervous that somebody else was going to take him, and I think he steps in and is immediately their starting right tackle, which is awesome. He went toe to toe with Abdul Carter too in the Big Ten championship. Didn't really allow any pressures in that game, so that was nice. He's not the biggest guy, but his footwork and quickness is incredible. And he's 21. I think he's gonna get bigger. He might not get taller, but he's gonna fill out a little bit more. And so I think that weakness is gonna turn into a strength. So I think he's gonna be a dog. And then
I like.
Trey
Sorry,
Amos.
can I pause you on Connerly for a
Yeah,
second?
yeah.
I like the way that you phrase that, because you see you get concerned. You see the Mike Green video of him just dogging Connerly.
Yes.
And the way that you just phrase that, though, is a perfect representation of what could possibly happen of him filling out his frame. And then you just have that solid rock on the end with the good footwork that knows what he's doing, has the technique. I think I just sent you ass, which I was mean. I was mean. I'll put my hand up. I think we just kind of I at least got blue balled by the Washington Commanders. I was waiting for something exciting, something a little fun, maybe a little Will Johnson, something a little risky, but they went with a pretty safe pick that I think does he have to start this year?
I will never complain about. He doesn't have to, but he probably will. They'll
Okay.
probably put Coleman at guard, and they'll have him start. That's ideally what happens. If that doesn't happen, then I'd be concerned.
Having versatile having a versatile, like having that versatility at the 26th pick, I think is, or 29th pick, I think is worth it. All right, keep going with the rest though. Sorry, I want to stop you on.
Yeah, Trey Amos, incredible value at this pick.
Yeah.
Like we had him go in our first round of the fan mock.
Yep.
They got him at the end of the second. He's man on man press corner, which is how they love to play. I think him playing on the outside next to Lattimore is a good fit, and then you can move Sanders still back inside, and now all of a sudden you have some depth at corner. So I loved that. I like this guy out of Virginia Tech. He just seems really fast. I think he's probably going to return punts for them. Who knows if he'll actually develop into a capable NFL receiver, but the athleticism is definitely there. And then their 6th-round pick, this guy Medrano, I think is a special teamer. And then Corey Krosky Merritt.
That's a great name. I was just
It's
smiling.
a great name.
Yeah, reading that. It's like
so
it's nice to the eyes to read. Jakari Krosky Merritt.
He went to New Mexico and had a huge year, like over 1,000 yards, I think like 17 touchdowns. Transferred to Arizona, played 1 game, and then there was something wrong with his eligibility, so he didn't play the rest of the season.
Oh, give me that
Played
guy.
1 game in 2024. Yeah,
give me that
right?
guy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
In the
They did a 30
round.
with him, so they
Talk
must
about
have
a
loved him.
sleeper.
Yeah.
That is the definition of a sleeper.
Yeah, no, he's a steep sleeper.
That's
So
incredible.
I love that pick.
That just got me fired up. That's awesome. And you know, because it's the eligibility that got messed up. He's pissed. Pissed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then he fell to the 7th because of that. His whole life changed because of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yep.
Give me that in RFK coming soon.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to talk about that for a second?
But yeah,
Oh.
Yeah. Let me finish the draft.
Yeah.
My critique is that if they came into this draft like knowing that they might not get an edge rusher, then you should have paid. Even if it was just like a Josh Sweat or someone who's like not necessarily a
Hendrickson
guy. Like they don't have picks.
That's true.
They don't have picks.
And they don't really have players.
So that's the one thing that's frustrating. Yeah. But other than that, I think like if they're just going to go best player available, like that's how I want them to draft, honestly. So it's easy to get frustrated when they don't draft what their needs are, but it's also like it's really year 2 of a rebuild.
Yeah.
They just happened to make the NFC Championship game last year. Like big picture, there's still so many holes.
No, and
I'd rather plug needs in free agency and just draft who they like.
How was waiting, by the way?
Waiting?
You've never had to wait
it was kind
for
of
a
nice.
draft.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. By the end, like by pick like 23, I was like,
start getting frustrated, right?
Might be get ready for bed.
Yeah, and you start getting mad at these teams. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Then another ad's coming up. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, right.
The worst is when you pick because the team above you will pick, say what was above them, the Lions.
Lions, yeah.
Yeah, the Lions pick, and then like it goes. They go they do all the details about it, and then you see in the corner it's like Washington's pick is in, and you're like, it's in, go to Washington.
Yeah, right.
And then it's like, and then it's like commercial. Another 20 seconds on the Lions guy. Then he's got to come up and announce it, and by the end of it, you're just like, yeah. I know the feeling, but I'm glad you got to experience. That's funny. And
it was nice.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, literally, Washington has not had the 29th pick, and like
no, it's the latest pick of my lifetime.
Oh man,
it's not even close either. That's the other thing.
No, yeah.
Like we had 27 one year. I think 22 was the latest we had. If that.
Yeah, when you guys beat the Bucks, or not, we lost the Bucks, right? It was like 19 or 22 or 21 or something.
Yeah, it's like Dotson.
Yeah,
or maybe that was Jamin.
Oh, Shadow.
Right, yeah.
They all blend together.
Worse.
All right, let's knock these last. Wait, RFK real quick before we knock out the Bills, Chiefs, and Eagles.
Yeah, it seems official. Over $3 billion. The team's putting up like $2.5 billion, which is more than I think any team's ever put up to build a stadium. That's kind of cool. It's going to be some sort of dome, which I don't like,
Hybrid though,
but
right?
I don't know. The details aren't really out yet. The
Dome.
rendering looks sick.
Out of the dome.
They have to get a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get it. The city probably made them do it too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
'Cause they,
Getting a Super
apparently, if
Bowl
they
would be
get
cool
Super
though.
Bowl and some other event, I forget what it is, but that would make like $1.2 billion
Wow. So that's pays
for the
for a third
city.
of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what the city like. People that are going to complain about it that the city shouldn't help them pay for it, and like that, the type of private investment that they're getting is unheard of.
Where so is it gonna be? Is it just gonna be right next to RFK?
No, they're tearing that thing down.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be on top. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Well, I'm excited. That's gonna be fun. The tickets are gonna be
Yeah,
way more
it'd
expensive
be
than they
awesome.
were,
I
but
know, so much more
um,
expensive.
that's just part of the business. It's all right. They're gonna
Yeah,
be like 400 for like the upper levels. It's gonna be insane.
yeah, I know.
That'll be we're gonna that'll be sweet though. I oh, we ready to go? Ready to move on? I don't want to cut you off if you're not ready.
Yep. Nope. You're good.
I secretly like the Bills draft a lot. Um, I don't know about their cornerback Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky, but I love T.J.
Yeah.
Sanders out of South Carolina. Love Landon Jackson out of Arkansas,
Landon
and
Jackson, third round. Yeah.
I love Deani Walker out of Kentucky. Those three players are when you look at the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, you look at those three players in the draft and you go, that's the closest we're gonna get. Uh, they're just massive, massive people. Um,
Yeah.
like Delanie Walker and T.J. Sanders, they're both they're both at least 300 bills, and I'm guessing like 330 apiece. Uh, you got to look up a picture of Deontay Walker. He is like he's 6'8", and just
Yeah.
a mass. Like he's just a mass, just a giant mass. Um,
He's a
so that
huge
alone
man.
scares the shit out of me. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be they're gonna be all up in Drake May's face. If they want to beat the
Yeah.
Chiefs, they're gonna have to be all up in Mahomes' face. They didn't need to waste picks on a wide receiver. They didn't need to waste picks on. They probably could have gotten some more corner. Actually, they did have two cornerbacks, so they didn't have to waste three. They drafted three cornerbacks. Well, clearly they'd have to waste picks on cornerbacks, but they're improving what they need to improve and really stifling up this defense where you're just trusting Josh Allen on the offense. There's no reason to go out there and get these like they didn't have to risk something on Luther Burden or something crazy like that because you have Josh Allen and you have the
Right.
nucleus of an offense. I wonder what they did in on undrafted free agency because I could have seen them going with a running back as like a backup to Cook, and then I guess they got Ray Davis last year as a backup to Cook. But what about Crather, Hayden, Maryland guy? Anything about him?
He'll be interesting. Um, big dude, like he can win like jump balls, but I don't know if we'll be able to get the separation required in the NFL. But
I need
we'll see.
guys that separate.
I liked him. Yeah.
I definitely need some guys who separate. All right, now we got Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs and the Eagles a little swapsy. Um,
Yeah. Why?
that was weird. I don't
Doesn't make
know.
any sense to me.
Like the Chiefs just got an extra fifth rounder, so that's cool, I
What
guess.
they call him, and they're like, "Hey, we're about to take Jihad Campbell. You want to trade up?"
Think
What
so.
happened?
I don't know. Maybe it some way in this conversation though, it was like, "You're not taking Josh Simons, right?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, sure,
No.
we'll do it." I'm like, "Why not?" So wait. So what team we want to do first then? You want to do the Eagles or you want to do the Chiefs? It was the Chiefs pick.
Yeah, we can do the Eagles, I guess. Because they ended up picking there.
Oh, where you got robot for a second? Sometimes the pod tells us to cut it off. We get in robot for a second. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but all right, he can hear me. Just text me what's going on real quick, Chris. But we the Josh Simons thing. I think it's what our guy Matt wanted. Oh, there you go. I can start to hear you again. Yeah, I can start to hear you again. What what happened here? All right, we're losing Chris to some technical difficulties. But
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
oh, we got him. He's on the move. One thing I gotta say though about this is Jalen Rolls out of Utah State, good wide receiver. He's gonna be a stud on the Chiefs. And Rashard Smith, love that pick. He was one of my wise guys of the draft. He's a dog at SMU. I thought that was a great pick in the 7th round. Chris, we have you back. No,
No, there we go.
a little bit. Yeah, we good now?
bit.
Oh yeah,
My
we're good now.
laptop's dying.
No, we're good now. We're good now.
Ugh.
Thoughts on the Chiefs draft? I think Omar Norman-Lott is good too. He's a big, beefy Tennessee guy as well.
I gotta pull it up. I like Simmons first overall, or not first overall, but first round
First
pick.
round, yeah. Yeah, I mean, once he gets healthy, he's gonna be a stud.
I don't know any of these guys.
All right, well then let's keep moving on. Eagles, they of course killed the draft. They got the guy that everyone was slotting them to get. They did have to trade up for him. They didn't really have to trade up for him, but they got Jihad Campbell out of Alabama, a perfect fit for their defense.
Yeah.
Everyone's pissed about this. I mean, this is a classic Howie Roseman because they get the Texas
Well, it's
safety
also like
too.
when you're a good team, you can just take whoever you want. Like you're not worried about the need at all.
Oh, exactly. And they don't, and like their biggest hole, quote unquote, would have been like this extra linebacker. It's extra
Yeah,
line.
D tackle
Yeah,
missing Milton Williams.
yeah, and they got him. They're just getting replacements for guys that they were losing, and
Pretty much, yeah.
they got, I don't remember which one of their tackles it is, whether it's Hilton or Williams, but one of the two is like a 6'8". I'm pretty sure he's like a 6'8" bruiser that doesn't know how to play. So he's like a perfect Eagle because they have like the best offensive line coach in the league. So that's just great. Yeah, 6'7" for one of them, and Cameron Williams out of Texas is 6'6". They're going to be studs. They're going to play guard or they're going to play tackle, and they're getting coached by the best O lineman and coach in league.
Yep.
Well, that was a lengthy. We did every team 2 hours. I'm ending the pod here. Next pod is some NBA playoffs. Hopefully, we talked about your team enough, and hopefully you all enjoyed. And we'll see everyone next episode. Thank you